think I'm just waiting for this little. There we go. There we are. Now we're
Yes.
live. All right, cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for showing up today. I just have one thing to do. I have to click live over here in our handy Facebook group because of Facebook and they like to change the rules on people. But anyway, I'm super excited today. Today is a day we get to have a speaker highlight. We have Diane Hochman with us, and I'm going to bring her out here in just a moment. But one thing that I just want to quickly, briefly do before I interview her and get her value from her today is I want to just briefly go back to when I met Diane. And if you don't know her, she's been an industry legend. I don't know, how long have you been in this industry? I'm kind
25 years, but I'm only 39, Mike. I don't know how that worked out, but anyway.
of that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. So yeah, so over 10 years more than I have in this industry, which I think is pretty cool. But one real quick fun fact, I know a lot of you who follow me, we're actually streaming live in our members group. We're streaming live on my profiles. We're streaming live on Diane's profiles. So wherever you're here, you're welcome here. You know, I just wanted to just do a brief little backstory on how I actually met Diane, and then we'll bring her out and we'll pick her brain for a little bit. How's that sound for everybody? So, and by the way, as you're popping in, drop a comment, drop something like what you're working on today or where you're dialing in from. We always love to see interaction on these Zooms, or I guess I'm so used to saying Zoom. This is not Zoom. This is what would this be called? This
A
like
stream.
a stream. Okay, a stream. Cool. So anyway, so just real quick, like when I first got started, I mean, I was brand newbie. I joined in 2007, which like my first MLM, and then in 2008, I found the internet. Okay, and I joined this automated system. Have you ever joined an automated system before? Well, the problem with the automated system is I tried to call my sponsor, crickets. I tried to email them, text them, crickets. The only thing available was a conference call once a week, and they didn't answer questions. And so I was just lost. I didn't know what I was doing. I was $8,000 into this thing after spending a bunch of money on ads. And so I went looking for outside mentorship. And the very first person I found was a guy named Franco Gonzalez. And so he was selling a course, and I ended up buying his course. And then he introduced me to a couple resources. And one of them was a call that you were hosting, Diane. That was pretty cool. I think you were hosting it with some guy named Joe Schroeder. And I started learning from you all the way back when I was a greenie, right, or a newbie, or whatever you want to call it. Literally 100K in debt, like not making any money, and I started listening to Diane Hochman, and so it's really cool that I have her here today to interview her and pick her brain, because I was learning from her right in the very beginning. And then, you know, obviously, long story short, I ended up having a lot of success in this industry, and that's why we're here. You know, we're here on this Zoom right now, and I can tie it back to Franco, Diane, and some of those early mentors that showed me the way when I was first getting started. So anyway, this is not about me interview. So I just wanted to do that quick backstory because I think it's cool that how we met. And we didn't really meet. You were just a mentor from afar at that time. And
I
so real
remember when I
quick,
actually met you, though. I
yeah,
distinctly remember specifically exactly when I met you at an event. And I remember it was exciting because it was like all these faces I had seen on the internet. And I was like, there's Mike Hobbs, and there's Bert Bledsoe, and there's this one and that one. Very cool. Very cool.
yeah, that was cool. So let's just go, just in case anybody is new and doesn't know who you are, maybe just go, you know, tell your story a little bit, and so we can get to know you a little bit real quick before we get
Sure.
too deep into it.
Um, I if you go back to 99, which is a long time ago, I had two little girls. I had left my job. I was working in education. And I bought some products from a relative. And they invited me to a meeting, and I saw this whole idea of a home business and, circles and, charts. And I went, this is it. This is going to be my solution. And I got into the home business space. And then I don't know, 2001, 2002, when dial-up was still around, I actually made things for a craft fair, and I was selling for my network marketing company. I wasn't making much money. I was $40,000 in debt, credit card debt, because I had stopped working. And I had downloaded some off the net. It took forever to download a document, or I used to get a fax on demand or something. It's that long ago. And I discovered internet marketing. I discovered, today what we call funnels. I discovered all of this, and built an email list, very rudimentary email list back in the day. And then YouTube came about, and video came about, and all this other stuff. Right place, right time. And I've been very, very blessed to work with some of the most incredible people, speak at some of the most incredible events, and here today, come full circle, working with you. So it's exciting to be here. Oh, there's Miss Jessica.
Awesome. Thank you, Diane. So yeah, hey Jessica, good to see you. Hey Tony. Hey Gio. Hey, this is cool. I love this this software, because you could pull up people's comments on the screen. So yeah, keep them coming. Yeah, let us know your questions. If anyone has questions for the great Diane Hochman, now is the time to ask it. So anyway, so let's go into, maybe, I know to me you're an industry legend. I know that you may not like that name. I'm not sure, but I know, to me it was, because you're kind of like, wow, she was my mentor in the very beginning, and now she's part of some of the companies that I'm co-founder of, and some different things that we're doing. And it's surreal. And so I just want to kind of pick your brain a little bit. Like, what would you say? I know you were 40,000 in debt and some of these other things. What would you say was a pretty good thing that you did to get out of that situation, that to help you reach success in this industry?
And you have taught lots of people about how to get in debt, and very into talking about financial literacy, which most of us grew up without. Um, when I started, the first thing, and I know today, everybody says you got to buy this and you got to buy that, you got to buy this and you got to buy that. But I was very tight. I got my income up to like $2,000 a month at the time, and I used that to pay down that debt. I used called the snowball method. I just paid off the lowest balance, and then snowballed that money that I had, that I was paying that into the next one. I was paying basically the minimum payments on each thing. And I snowballed until, lo and behold, one day I had no more debt. And all of a sudden my life changed, because my income had gone up. I was learning new skills. I brought my income up, and I didn't have those bills anymore. And that was, quite frankly, like, it was a miracle. And then I started to learn about leverage and using tools like email marketing, video marketing, etc. So my income increased, and then before you knew it, I was buying my first car cash. I remember going, the guys, will you be financing that? And I was like, no, I'll be paying cash. And my life changed. It was amazing.
That's so cool. I love it. And I'm actually currently on my own personal debt-free journey. I have to pay off this mortgage, and then I'll be out of that. And yeah, so but yeah, I was in the same situation, doing the snowball and all that stuff. So
Mhm.
I love that. So when it comes to marketing, I know you've called yourself, this is actually kind of interesting. You called yourself the digital dingbat. I'm not sure why you called yourself that. Maybe you want to
Well,
expand on
I
that.
didn't call myself that. Well, one day we were, I used to do, remember back in this time, there were no Facebook training courses. Facebook came out to the public, I think 2007, 2008. There were no YouTube courses. YouTube came out. My friend Jerry called me. He goes, you need to have a vlog. I'm like, what the heck is a vlog? You need to have a vlog. I started YouTube like back when Gary Vaynerchuk started YouTube with Wine Live back in the day. So one of the guys in our community, Tom, he used to laugh at me because, and you witnessed doing this yesterday on a training, I screw up because I'm not very technical. And he called me the digital dingbat. And I used to run webinars called Webinars Gone Wild, you know, taken off of Girls Gone Wild, that commercial that used to be on. And I would say, she's either going to blow it up or you're going to learn something really good. Either way, it's going to be fun. And I marketed Webinars Gone Wild, and I was the digital dingbat. And I did it partially. I wasn't diminishing myself. A lot of people thought I was diminishing myself. I was letting people know I was just like them, because a lot of people struggle with things. So I wanted them to see that I did too, and I just figured it out. So it just kind of stuck. People just called me that for years, and it still hangs out.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because even today, as we were setting up this meeting, we tried a different software, there's a couple other things, and then we ended up using Diane's StreamYard account, which I think is funny because it's like, I like, you're not the digital dingbat. Like, this is we're using your digital platforms now. Like, mine screwed up, so I thought that was pretty funny. But
I remember one time, like, I was doing something, and Jim, one of the guys I used to work with, he's very technical, and they had switched over the platform that I had to use for my mastermind to a WordPress site. And he just assumed that I didn't know anything about WordPress, or that I didn't know anything about how to edit things, or this and that. And he was, wait a minute, you know all this stuff. You're not such a digital dingbat. And I laughed and I said, yeah, but I had to do it 50 times to figure it out. So, you know, Jim Rohn taught us all. For Jim Rohn, famous business philosopher, go look him up on YouTube if you're not familiar with him. But I grew up on Jim, with Jim. He said, safety in numbers and the law of averages. If you do something enough times, you're going to get good at it, you know, including prospecting or talking to people or creating a video, whatever it is. So I just grew up with that philosophy. So I figured no technology can beat me. I just have to do it more than the average person. That's all.
I love that. And if you really think about it, it doesn't really matter what age you are. If, as long as you just do it a certain amount of times, you're gonna get it, right? Like, I didn't have a computer till I was 20, and some people call me the Titan of tech now, and I'm like, what? Like, Titan of tech? Like, I didn't even. My kids
You
have
are
better tech.
kind of techie, Mike. You are. I mean, like, I'm listening
I
to you
know.
doing all this stuff, talking to microphones and all your toys and your cameras, and I'm like, I got a phone. You know, that's what I got. So yeah.
That is funny. Yeah, and I get it, and it's just one of those things. It's like, it's one of those interests that I had. I wanted to learn it, and it's kind of goes back to what you just said. You just do it repetition. It's gonna work out. So awesome. So is there any? I just want to throw out there too. Like, I know you've been to the top of the leaderboards in some companies. In fact, there was one company I saw some heavy hitters jump in there, get number one, and you were just doing your thing, and then eventually you kind of just stuck at number one after that for many years. And so, is there anything that you did special to become a number one earner in that system?
Well, it goes back to the same thing we were just talking about: safety in numbers and the law of averages. Consistency and staying put will always win over, you know, the flash, the you know, the folks that come and go. And there's nothing wrong. You know, a lot of people like to come into a deal when it's hot and go on their way, and that's a choice. I just stay still. I tend to have a lot of longevity. The companies I work with, I choose them very specifically. And you know, I just kind of like crept up. I just kept going up the board until I was there. And the thing that's most important to me anyway, is I became the number one earner and far out earned all of those folks. Because I have a way of looking at the earning that might be different than what most people think about. So it was just staying put, staying consistent, building that base and building on it, instead of going up the roller coaster, down the roller coaster. It's just kind of go up, stay pretty stable, go up a little bit more, stay pretty stable. And, you know, and increasing that way. And that's the old mom in me. Moms don't want surprises. Mom wants to know how much money's coming in, how much she can spend on groceries. the old mom in me, the old, you know, I just want to know what to expect, as opposed to I don't get jazzed by the big hit, the big pop, and that doesn't move me. What moves me is stability. So
I love that about you. That's one thing that I've been big into as well, as residual stuff. So residual income, residual traffic. So I like to try to do a lot of different things that bring in residual to my life. And I love that because, like I said, I saw some heavy hitters hit number one there that just kind of phased away, right? And they're gone. And so I love that. Awesome. So is there any I know you're big into email marketing. So I want to pick your brain a little bit about email. What do you think about email in the 2024? I've actually seen someone the other day say email marketing is dead. Do you feel like that's the case, or
I when people say email marketing is dead, because go to any big earner and ask them where they make most of their revenue from, and it's always going to be email. Email marketing is work, so a lot of times people don't want to put in the work to develop that the relationship with that list. But I also think that, there's nothing wrong with text. A lot of people love text. I think text is more instant response, and email is more relationship building, a readership, different things, they're different animals. There's also nothing wrong with social media other than you don't control it. You can't control. We were just talking about how Facebook changed your ability to stream into groups. People built groups with tens of thousands of people, and one day Facebook went, you can't stream in there anymore. It disrupted people's businesses. So I like email, and I like email to this day, and I don't think I'm going to stop liking email going forward, although I am always using all channels for multi-channel marketing.
yeah, that's great. And you're also starting to crush it over there on TikTok. I'm actually curious, like what do you see with TikTok, and do you think people should do that right now?
What I think is that the marketplace is changing. Okay. Especially now AI becoming more prevalent, etc. And it really everything, and I've been preaching this for years, but it's coming to fruition now. Everything is about trust. You can absolutely pop quick sales with triggers, but the long-term audience that buys from you over and over and again, creating that residual income, or even if it's not residual income because they're not on a monthly shipment, but it's recurring customers that come back time and time again, is about them trusting you and listening to you. And TikTok, because of the way their algorithm works, it's based upon interest, not connections. Facebook, they're trying to change, but unsuccessfully, is based upon who do you know, connections. And that's why Facebook's been so weird for a while, because they're trying to transition to a TikTok algorithm, but they haven't quite conquered that. TikTok is about what you're interested in, and TikTok is very, very, very transparent. It's very raw. I go on TikTok in my pajamas. Sounds crazy, right? I'll literally sit on the couch and I'll have something to say, and I'll turn on the camera. You would never do that in the past, right? You had to look a certain way. You had to, dress a certain way. You had to have all this stuff. TikTok is this new animal. And a lot of people that come from, it's funny, my old school used to be, prospecting and putting up flyers and stuff like that. Now old school is that fancy presentation type business stuff. Anybody who's doing that old school stuff over on TikTok, they haven't done well, because people don't trust anymore. So it's whether TikTok is the future. I know there's controversy about TikTok. It may or may not be. This type of communication 100% will be. And if you notice, anybody who's watching TikTok, people are going live there for hours. People are building communities there. People are selling. They're having their own QVC, selling AirPods and selling stuff like that. It's a crazy place, and it is a cool place. And I don't think we're ever going to go back to that formality of its predecessors.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And nowadays, one thing that I really love about these platforms, like even Facebook Reels and these different things, is they show your content to people that don't follow you. When I
Right.
started, you had to have a following, right? And so the strategy was add a whole bunch of friends and interact with people to get a following. Now they just show it to everybody. So it's interesting. Awesome.
I will say about Facebook though, and the thing that's different about Facebook and TikTok, you'll notice most of the reels that do really well on Facebook, they're like, I went shopping or I went to a new restaurant or here's the two dresses I tried on, a lot of that type of stuff, because what they're trying to do is put the interest base in reels. So what's happening is people who are talking about marketing and stuff like that, they tend not to get as much traction or go viral in a way as it would that if I went to the Dollar Tree and showed you what I bought today at the dollar store, I'd get more traction than I would if I taught you something profound, because Facebook is not really valuing that stuff. So TikTok just has a little bit more um, virality. It has a little bit more ability to tap niches, I think, today at this moment.
Awesome. Good stuff. And welcome on, Paul. I see you there with the hearts and Geo. Let's blow it up. We've got Keish in the Facebook group. There's comments too. Welcome, Dan, Keisha LaShawn's on. Cool. We got Janine
Keisha.
Hanner, Robin Williams, Danny Krinzik. Cool. Good to see you guys on there. And thanks for interacting. And so yeah, so this is the whole reason, by the way, that I decided to do this interview is because we asked Diane to be a speaker at our next live event, which is coming up November 11 in Dallas, Texas. So
So
real
sweet.
quick, just want to ask you, what do you think of live events? Should people come to them? Is it going to be a waste of time? Like what do you think about that?
Every advancement that I've ever made in my career was because of going to a live event, meeting a person. And it was that relationship that, I mean, I could literally track you through 25 years, which we don't have time for. But every big advancement came from going to an event and either learning something new or meeting somebody. Like, for example, who knew that you and Paul would become who you are with the company that you have now when I first met you? Who knew, right? Who knew that some of the people that I met, the relationships span over years. And so obviously are worth going to for the learning. But for me, it's the networking and the relationships that happen face to face and over breaking bread that really made a big difference for me.
Yeah, that's a big point because there was actually I remember there was a program I joined. I was having a serious issue, like major issue, and I actually knew the company owner, like from an event. He never responds to anybody. I was able to contact him and get the thing fixed. Had I had not had that connection from the event, he probably would have ignored me just like everybody else in that company. Now,
Yeah,
obviously that's kind of a weird situation, but I'm just saying, just the connections that you make over the years can benefit over time. So I love that.
for sure.
So you're speaking in Dallas, which I'm excited about. Is there
Yay.
any teasers or anything you want to share on what you're going to be covering there?
Um, well, we had talked about there's one topic on the website, and then we talked about another topic. And I'm going to be completely honest, unless these guys stop me, which they might tackle me in the back room and pin me down. But I generally wait to see what emerges, what the audience needs, what is lacking. I really want to talk about residual. I want to talk about building that step by step. And I want to talk about relationships and integrity over just the quick trot, the quick run. Um, But which way or which angle I'm going to go on, I don't know, because we could talk about it using short form video. We could talk about it using email. We could talk about it using, all these different things via relationships, via networking. But the big thing for me is always creating residual income, because it is that residual income. There's a difference between making money and building residual. And I've been through some different things. I have elderly parents right now. I'm often running up to New York to see them. And because of residual income, I'm free to do that. If my kids need me, I'm free to do that. I like cruises and stuff. I'll go off on a cruise for 2 weeks and I'll work a cruise. But the residual income is so different. Most of the time when people enter the industry, they're looking to make money. I don't know about you, but I wanted to make 500 bucks. But over time, as you mature in the game, you realize that this type of income can set you free. And even just, and I think it was you that told the story the other day on one of our masterminds about you just only needed to make so much to step out of your job so you could fully focus. And I'm not telling people to quit their jobs or anything like that. But for a lot of people, just $5,000 residual income is life-changing. And it's not that hard to do. And yet for some people it's elusive, and it's because of a thought process. So there you go. I just went around in a circle. Residual income thought processes. That's probably what I want to talk about.
I love that. Yeah, I love the concept of residual income. And yeah, for me, I was making $18.90 an hour at the job that I was in at Walmart, throwing boxes and trailers. And I was also in the military, but that only equaled about $3,000 a month. I thought about that. Like, man, 1890 actually kind of sounds high because there's a lot of jobs that pay less than that nowadays, right? I mean, that means there's people making less than $3,000 a month right now in their jobs. And yeah, I mean, with the online business, you can definitely make that and more with less time if you get to work. So
Yeah.
anyways, so Freedom Fest, that's coming up in Dallas. I will put a website on the screen. Obviously, if you have any questions about any of this, get with Diane if you're on her profiles, get with me if you're on my profiles. The Facebook group people, you guys already know. You're in the company, so you know what it's all about. But that's the website right there, hbafreedomfest.com, to learn more about it. And so anything else you want to say about Freedom Fest before we let people go?
There is something I want to say about Freedom Fest. Freedom Fest is, and this will be my first Freedom Fest actually. But when you go to the website and you take a look at the schedule, it's a very unique and different event, because most of the time you go to an event and you sit in a ballroom for 3 days. You just sit there. And then on breaks, everybody runs out and meets and connects. This event has obviously some classroom content, but it has social content. It has content in times and periods where you can work on your short form video. It has bread breaking time, and that means eating together, because I think breaking of bread is a very important thing. It has now photo op time. It has time to build your credibility in the marketplace by getting up and saying a few words and getting some images with that. So it has all the good stuff, and they've actually built in a lot of time for what I think is the good stuff. Usually when I go to an event, I feel like the good stuff is at the party, or the good, and a lot of times you got to pay $1 million to go to a party, right? It's like you got to be VIP and you pay a lot of money. This event is just one event, and the most important thing is this is a nonprofit event, and it all goes to feeding children in the organization that these guys work with, and you actually get an opportunity to be a part of at the event. So you're gonna come in and you're gonna learn, and you're gonna meet some phenomenal, really knowledgeable people, and you're gonna do something that feels really good in your heart, and you're gonna go home changed. And I don't say that lightly, because I'm so done with the hype, Mike. I don't say that lightly. This I really mean. It has all the components for something that will make a real difference. And what I like too is you've selected Dallas this year. Dallas is right in the middle of the country. Almost everybody can get a direct flight to Dallas. I mean, there's very few. I mean, unless you live in the tundra or something, almost everybody can get a flight to Dallas. and that makes it easy access. I know it's short notice now, but it's still doable. So
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and like she said, there's no profit incentive here. In fact, this is not an affiliate link. We were just talking about that before we went live here. Should we post the website here? It's like it's technically there's no affiliate commissions on this link. There's no in fact, we use the money to pay for the event, of course, expenses, and then the rest of it goes to Feed My Starving Children, which is a charity that we represent that feeds hungry kids around the world. And that's it. Like there's no, I make nothing. In fact, I do more work for this event usually, and I get paid nothing from it. Literally nothing other than being able to be around you guys, being able to serve you, being able to, like make some kind of positive impact and change in your life. That actually pays me when I do that. But other than that, we wanted to make our events different, and that's one thing, because there's a lot of companies, and I'm not knocking this. There's nothing wrong with making money. Okay. I never want
absolutely.
to, yeah, I never want to like make out like, oh, I'm holier than thou. We're nonprofit. You're not, like that's not how I don't want it to come across. So if you make money from your events, that's fine. We didn't want this to be a profit center. In fact, we wanted our products and services to be the profit center, and then the event to be somewhere non-pressure. We can just hang out and have fun. So, yeah.
And you don't even have to be a member of the company to come to the event. You'd be more than welcome. We'd love to see you. So, but I just think I just like the way you have it set up, so that you're not worried about what you extract at the event. You're worried about what you give out at the event, and I think that that's really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just posting up. Alice is on the stream. We've
Hi,
got Ari
Alice.
on the stream.
Sorry.
All right. It's good to see you guys. Well, we'll just start to wrap it up now. Thank you so much, Diane. Is there any final words of wisdom you want to give our crowd today before we let them go?
I'm going to pass along the words of wisdom that my teacher gave me. For anybody who isn't where they want to be, or got to a level like me and is ready to go to the next place, if you'd only do what you already know how to do, things would change. Stop worrying about what you don't know how to do. Stop worrying about what's hard, or stop worrying about what's outside of your budget. Oh, one last thing about the event, Mike, we forgot to say, you purchase a ticket, you can attend live, but we also have a streaming version, and that is also nonprofit, and the profit, goes to feeding starving kids. So if you can't make it in person, I kind of went there because I'm like thinking about things that are outside of your budget, or thinking about things that you don't know how to do. Tend to focus on that. And if we just go back and focus on what we do know how to do right now, and if you made a list, things change. And then what would happen is doors would open, and people, places, and things that you require to take you to the next level would arrive, because they would see your hand, your feet, and your mouth moving in activity, and the next layer of people that you need would show up. So that's a piece of wisdom that was given to me probably 20 years ago. And every time I get stuck, Mike, I go, Diane, if you would only do what you already know how to do, things would change.
I love that. Yeah, great wisdom. And yeah, so if you are wanting to plug into our event, go to hbafreedomfest.com, grab your ticket. And like she said, it includes the live version, it includes the recordings, and it includes the being there in person. Did I already say that? So
Yeah,
basically,
you got to let us know you're coming. There's a spreadsheet. You got to let us know you're coming, so we put out a
yeah.
seat for you.
Yeah, exactly. And there's only 111 spots available in person, and we kept it that way because we wanted to be a tight knit, close community while we're there. Now, maybe in the future we'll do big, huge events, but right now we just want to keep them small and more intimate, and I think it's just a cool experience overall. So you're going to get a lot of. In fact, if you do live stream, we do bring you out on a screen, and sometimes, and we talk to you while you're on the live stream, and
Oh, cool.
we interact with you there too. So we don't just shun the live stream viewers, by the way. We make you involved. And even on the music night, last time we had the laptop open, they were all dancing with us there on the laptop. So, you know, we try to make it as fun as possible. So anyway, thank you again, Diane. You were awesome. And
Thank you,
we'll
Ryan.
see. I'll go ahead and end the stream and let us know if you're coming to Freedom Fest in the comments, and we'll see you there. So make it a great day, everyone.